What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Solana today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, you guys, and let's get into it, all right? It is the third day of July, okay? Third day of July here. We've got about 3 days, 8 hours left in the week. No, 3 days, 7 hours left in the week. 7 hours left in this day. $150 is the price. I wasn't going to talk about Solana today, but I saw some stuff on a video that I just made that actually I think is rather pressing, and maybe nobody's talking about it. I don't know. I know that the ETF got approved. Everybody's talking about that, right? ETF goes live, what, 1 day ago? Price spikes. Is that what they're saying? Is that the price spikes 3%, a lower high? That's the price. The price spiked, huh? Okay. Do you guys know? I wish I had some stuff set up for this. Let's actually look at this real quick. When did the first gold ETF in the USA come out? When did that happen? Spider Gold Trust, okay, launched November 18th, 2024, or 2004. What happened to gold? GLD. Wait, no, that's Spider Gold Trust. Gold. There we go. What happened to gold after November 18th, 2024? So 2004. I don't know why I keep saying 2024. My bad. Here we go. First off, it did pump. It pumped a lot, but if we're looking at this here, November 18th, 2004, that would have been here. Okay, so November, right here. Here's November, okay? We had a pump on the news. And then what happened? Gold actually, from there, had a little pause. It dropped 10%, which doesn't seem that big if you're in crypto. It's a big deal for gold. They're gold bugs that were crapping their little gold nuggets off, man. And what we did was we were in a consolidation phase where we were stagnant for 9 months, for 3/4 of a year. Okay, we were stagnant for 9 months. Okay, after the ETF was released, and it was November 18th. So this was actually a good bit of the way through the month. Bullish anticipation, yes. Bearish result afterwards. Of course, you continue to move up. It's bullish. ETFs are, I think, bullish for price growth over time. I think that's, you'd be hard pressed to argue that, okay? But this is not the only case of this. Let's see. When did the first silver ETF come out? We have a point here, okay? Nope, I don't want the oldest. I just want, when did the first silver ETF in the USA come out? April 2006. Okay, silver. April 2006. Okay, here's 2006. Look at that. I bet we don't even need to look. You see that high right here in 2006? You see where that high is? I bet that's April right there. Let's just see. Okay, so that's April. May, we topped off and then dumped. We actually dumped harder than gold did. You pumped a little bit afterwards, 37% down. You did not see higher highs than this for a year and a half. Understand? You understand what I'm saying, right? Are we getting somewhere? You keep going. Go through copper, go through uranium, go through any and all the ETFs you want. The only one, in fact, that had not seen a wicked consolidation phase that lasted for 3/4 of a year, 6 months of a year or longer was Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the only one. Here's Bitcoin's ETF. No, where was it? Wasn't it January? Was it over here? Okay, it was this. It was in the middle here. It's just on this. This is the only ETF in existence that got approved, and we continue to rally afterwards. But guess what? You still consolidated for quite some time afterwards, but at much higher prices. You didn't dump first. Bitcoin's the only one to do it. Solana gets an ETF, and people are assuming, oh, well, Bitcoin's ETF, that was good for Bitcoin. This must be good for Solana. I don't know about that. I'm not so sure, actually. I think I would lean more with the historical. And if you guys remember, I actually was bearish on the Bitcoin ETF. I thought that would promote stagnation and decay in price. It did promote stagnation afterwards, but it actually promoted it after we increased in price first. Bitcoin was too damn bullish. I don't think Solana's in a bullish position here, okay? I don't think that this ETF is actually going to help, and I think that it's going to generate more selling pressure than it is buying pressure. The big news is out, and we didn't pump. Last week we pumped, what, 16%? That's it? That's all you got? Dude, you pumped back here, you pumped 20% without the ETF news, right? You're at lower highs since then. if we're looking at the weekly RSI, and this is what, beyond just the ETF news, this is what really drove me to make this video, is that we're in a massive downtrend. If this was opposite, if we were looking at this RSI like this, I would be absurdly bullish on Solana right now. I'd be like, dude, you're about to get overbought. This next run, you are literally going to fly through the roof. You're going to break out of this consolidation phase to the upside. But that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening at all, actually. And I feel like this is a bold call. I don't think anybody has the balls to say this right now, right? Not for Solana, not for the number 6 crypto. No, technically number 5 if you take out the USDT, right? And as it should be, it's probably number 5. I think this thing, while the rest of the market pumps, is going to dump. I think that's what's going to happen. That doesn't mean every coin affiliated with Solana is going to dump, but something's going to happen here, you guys. Something's going to happen. From a low to a high. And I don't know if I should take that high. Should I take this high? Is that like a fake out high? We bounced right off that 236 there. That's nice support. I don't know. We could argue that this is the proper one. The case that I'm building here is that Solana, I'm not saying it goes to the depths. Maybe. I don't know. If the rest of the market's moving up and Solana moves down, or maybe Solana's telling the truth. Maybe Solana's saying we're all going to move down. But if Solana moves down, everything else is going down with it. Maybe there's a case to be made for that. I doubt it. A lot of things look bullish. Ethereum looks super bullish right now. Solana, off of its low in April, it's up 58%, which is about average for the average coin. And you're finding support at your relative 236 here from a low to a high. Let's just see relative here. You also found support of the golden ratio, rejecting the 236 here. There's a case scenario to be made where Solana could recover and see some bullish stuff. But I'm telling you, man, this weekly RSI has me skeptical. And if we do this, we go lower, we complete the thought. Typically, not always, but typically, downtrends in the RSI do result in getting oversold, typically, right? You don't end the downtrend, just like here, you had a downtrend, right, in your RSI. You don't end it until you're oversold, okay? When you're in an uptrend, you don't end it until you're overbought, and preferably with bearish divergence or bullish divergence either way. We haven't gotten oversold yet. You've gotten close, and you don't need to get down here. Again, typically is the word. It's very possible that you could move up. That's a nice bounce off the 40. That's a nice bounce. But the price action, to me, it just seems a bit lackluster. I don't know. For the number 5 coin. I mean, in all honesty, let's be fair. It is performing on average with like the average crypto. But you just miss your golden ratio. That's another bearish thing. It's actually very bearish whenever you skim the golden ratio like that. You guys, understand. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. If we get up to $190, everything I'm saying about the lower prices is off the table. I'm wrong. Okay? If you get above 190 bucks, I'm wrong. Easy peasy. We're at 150 now. So that's about 40 bucks away. If we get below 124 on a daily closing basis, weekly closing basis, whatever, closing basis, not a wick, a close. Everything I've said is valid. And we're going lower. And likely Solana will be one of the biggest letdowns, aside from like Caspa, of the whole cycle. If you got in early on Caspa, that's great. But if you got in like most people did late at the highs, it's been a big disappointment. Most people have a sour taste in their mouth when it comes to Caspa, when it comes to ICP, when it comes to Ethereum at this point, you know what I mean? But they're still hopeful for Ethereum. Solana has a really good taste in its mouth, and people are talking about it going to new all-time highs, and maybe it does. But at this point in time, I'm not so convinced. I'm really not so convinced at all. Typically, this kind of reaction below the 236 does beget lower prices to the 382. My call is that a lot of cryptos are going to move up between now and the end of August. Solana will move down to $74. Prices below $100. It will move down to $74. That's my call. And maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but the ETF doesn't help. The RSI certainly doesn't help. And the break below the 236 here on the fibs, that doesn't help either. Finding a resistance here at prior support doesn't help. No. At prior resistance, no. None of that's good. And let's just look at this with something that has volume. If I'm right, guys, this could be huge. Like this could really be huge. Look at that. You see the volume on the way down? Do you see any volume on the way up on Binance, the biggest exchange in the world for crypto? Let's do it on USDT because those pairs have more volume. Yeah. You got a little bit of volume. The lowest spike you had was actually on this buying section here. You had you have sub-average volume the whole way up. You had above average volume consistently whenever you're moving down. I think we're in a distributive phase, guys. I think it's a distributive phase. 130. I said 124, but 130, whatever. I'd start to crap my pants if I was a Solana hopeful at 130. But Yeah, 124, 123. That's the area. I got nothing else for you guys. My camera glitched out, I guess. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here, okay? I will see you on the next one. Let's see if we can get this to work. Nope. All right. Well, just enjoy that cat wagging his tail. All right. Bye-bye. Oh, hey, I'm back.